One day you're rushing home from school to finish your daily missions. Your friends are inviting you to play another match, and every YouTube recommendation is filled with gameplay videos, updates, and leaks. It feels like those games are going to be around forever, but then life moves on. Your phone changes, your friends stop playing, new games take over the app stores, and before you even notice it, the games you once played every single day are now vanished. Nobody tells you when a single match is going to be your last match, and nobody tells you that one day you'll search for a game you loved, only to discover that the servers are gone, the community has vanished, and almost nobody even remembers it existed. And perhaps the strangest part is that some of these games weren't failures. They introduced mechanics years ahead of their time. Some had better movement than today's modern shooters, and some brought completely new ideas to mobile gaming. So today, we're going back and revisiting 5 legendary mobile games that once had millions of players, huge communities, and incredible potential, only to slowly disappear from everyone's memory. Now the first game on our list is Hopeless Land. Before we move forward, here's a question for you. Do you think this game arrived at the perfect time? And how many games just get killed because of bad timing and the waves of other titles that drown some of the deserving small projects? That's exactly what happened with Hopeless Land, and everything about it really felt hopeless at that time. Released back in 2018 and published by Hero Entertainment, this game entered the market when mobile battle royale games were just beginning to explode. The game stayed underrated for a moment, but after PUBG and Call of Duty filled the audience in battle royale genre, Hopeless Land quickly gained millions of downloads because players were looking for a battle royale experience on mobile and appreciated the most if it was a better alternative that you could run properly. But the truth was, unlike many other games at that time, Hopeless Land wasn't simply trying to become another PUBG clone. At its core, the game offered a traditional battle royale experience with 120 players fighting on a massive map, looting weapons, surviving the shrinking zone, and becoming the last squad standing. However, the biggest reason players remember this game even today was its vehicles. Hopeless Land allowed players to fly fully controllable helicopters, which was something almost unheard on mobile at that time. Players could land on rooftops, attack enemies from the air, transport teammates, or escape dangerous situations instantly, like a sci-fi movie action trailer. Coming to today, this features is largely seen on every other titles you play, but for 2018 it was something like finding diamond in a mud. The game's arcade-style movement and compact, colorful visuals also helped it run on weaker devices, making it accessible to a large audience. However, the game's downfall began when PUBG Mobile, Free Fire, and Call of Duty officially entered the scene. Players quickly moved towards the bigger title because of better graphics, stronger updates, esports support, and a massive community. At the same time, Hopeless Land started receiving fewer updates, had no major competitive scene, and slowly lost remaining content creators and active players. Eventually, the player base declined, matchmaking became slower, and the game slowly disappeared from the spotlight. And honestly, Hopeless Land was so memorable for me, and I still have that nostalgic vibes when I hear the name. If this game was released in 2015 or 16, then definitely the success was guaranteed. Let me know how many of you still feel the same way, or you never heard of this before. Now moving on to the second game, we have Rogue Agents Mobile, a third-person shooter developed by Midnight Games that many players today have completely forgotten, despite offering one of the unique and smoothest movement designs ever seen on mobile. Released in 2020, exactly during the peak of competitive mobile shooters, Rogue Agents never reached the popularity of games like PUBG or Call of Duty Mobile. However, among the players who actually experienced it, the game became known for one thing above everything else. Unlike most mobile shooters that limit the movement and shooting mechanics, Rogue Agents encouraged players to move constantly and strategically. The game featured wall running, slides, dashes, parkour mechanics, and fast movement abilities that made every gunfight feel dynamic and skill-based. If someone would ask me, does this game have better movements than Delta Force, Call of Duty, or Warzone Mobile? I would say absolutely yes. In many ways, its movement system feels surprisingly modern even today, because the game rewarded positioning, mobility, and quick reactions rather than simply who spotted the enemy first. The game itself was a multiplayer third-person shooter featuring different agents with unique abilities. Each character brought their own playstyle, allowing players to experiment with aggressive movement, support abilities, or tactical combat. Visually, Rogue Agents also stood out with its unique, mesmerizing art style and high-quality character designs. The maps were built around vertical movement, allowing players to use rooftops, walls, and multiple pathways during fights. However, despite these strengths, the game struggled to gain a large audience. One major reason was timing. The mobile market was already dominated by battle royale games, and most players were focused on PUBG, Free Fire, or Call of Duty. Another problem was limited marketing. Many players simply never knew the game existed, Without large creators, esports tournaments, or strong promotion, the game couldn't build a long-term community. As the player count declined, matchmaking became slower, updates became less frequent, and eventually the game disappeared from the spotlight despite having genuinely innovative mechanics. What's interesting is that many of the movement systems found in modern shooters today feel very similar to what Rogue Agents was already attempting years ago. The game focused on mobility, speed, and skill expression at a time when most mobile shooters still relied on basic movement systems. And even today, the time's not over yet. If they come back with exact gameplay style and just upgrade the graphics, it still can capture a unique targeted audience. Let me know in the comments. Would you try it if it releases again? Now, the third game on our list is Creative Destruction. And for many players, this was essentially a Fortnite of mobile gaming before Fortnite itself became available on smartphones. Creative Destruction entered the market during the massive Battle Royale boom and almost immediately gained attention because of its building mechanics. The game featured 100-player Battle Royale matches where players could collect weapons, gather resources, build structures, and destroy almost everything around them. Unlike traditional Battle Royale games, survival wasn't only about good aim. Players could instantly build walls, ramps, towers, and defensive structures during combat. This building mechanic completely changed how fights worked. Players could protect themselves, gain height advantages, escape dangerous situations, or create their own strategies in real time. For many mobile players, this was their first experience with building-based combat. The colorful graphics, cartoonish art style, and lower hardware requirements also helped the game reach a massive audience. Many low-end devices that struggled with PUBG Mobile could run Creative Destruction much more comfortably. However, the biggest challenge for Creative Destruction was its identity and the studio behind this game. Many players viewed it as a Fortnite clone rather than its own game. As Fortnite eventually became available on mobile and PUBG Mobile continued dominating the market, Creative Destruction found itself stuck between multiple giants. The game also suffered from slow updates, increasing numbers of bots, balancing issues, and a declining player base over time. Content creators gradually moved to other games, matchmaking became less active, and the community slowly disappeared, and the studio behind this game shut down the game on June 27, 2022. Fourth game on our list is Disorder, a tactical hero shooter developed by NetEase that many players consider one of the most ambitious multiplayer shooters ever released on mobile. It brings something entirely different by combining hero abilities, tactical gunplay, and objective-based gameplay. Disorder is set in a near-future world, affected by war and conflict. The game's primary mode revolved around team-based objective gameplay, rather than simply surviving until the end. Players had to capture objectives, secure nuclear launch codes, extract safely, and coordinate with teammates to achieve victory. This made teamwork much more important than individual kills. One of the biggest strengths of Disorder was its presentation. The game tried to feature console-quality graphics, detailed environments, and highly polished character models that looked far ahead of many mobile shooters at the time. In many ways, Disorder shared similarities with modern hero shooters and extraction shooters that became popular years later. However, despite its quality, Disorder struggled to build a large audience. The biggest reason was timing. Most mobile players were heavily invested in Battle Royale games, and many didn't understand what kind of game Disorder was trying to be. The game also had a relatively steep learning curve. Character abilities, team coordination, and objective-based gameplay made it less accessible for casual players who simply wanted quick matches. Additionally, NetEase provided limited marketing support, and many content creators never covered the game extensively. Without strong promotion or a large community, the player base slowly began to decline. The studio behind this game didn't see any worth behind it, so they shut down in January 2022. And finally, the last game on our list is Mission Evo, previously known as Project Evo, a game that's mostly known for Rust-like elements. The developers wanted to bring a full open-world survival experience to mobile devices, something that very few games had successfully attempted before. Set inside a massive post-apocalyptic world known as Emberland, Mission Evo drops players into a dangerous environment where survival becomes the only objective. Unlike traditional shooters where matches end after a few minutes, this world continues to exist whether you're online or offline. For 7 or 14 days, you're surviving the Emberland, gathering resources, crafting, base building, PvP combat, and open-world exploration into one experience. Players begin with almost nothing and slowly gather wood, stone, metal, food, and equipment to survive. One of the biggest reasons people compared the game to Rust was its building system. Players could construct their own shelters, expand bases, create defenses, and protect their resources from other players. However, these bases could also be raided, meaning every decision mattered. Another major feature was the freedom of the world itself. The map contained forests, deserts, mountains, abandoned towns, and dangerous areas filled with hostile creatures and other survivors. Every encounter carried risk because players could lose valuable resources at any moment. What made the game especially interesting was its social aspect. Players could create teams, form alliances, build communities, or betray each other for resources. Similar to Rust, trusting the wrong player could result in losing everything. Mission Evo was also heavily marketed as one of the first large-scale survival games developed using Unreal Engine 5 on mobile. The visuals, lighting, weather effects, and world design impressed many players during its beta stages. However, despite its ambitious ideas, the game also faced several problems. Performance issues affected many devices, optimization remained inconsistent, and the hardware requirements were much higher than most mobile survival games. The survival genre itself was also very unknown on mobile. Most players preferred fast-paced battle royale games, while Mission Evo demanded patience, grinding for 15 days, resource management, and long-hour attention. The game's extended beta periods and slow development cycle also caused many players to lose interest over time. As newer games entered the market, the excitement surrounding Project Evo slowly faded. And finally, the game gets shut down in December 8, 2023. So, these were all the game that got forgotten by mobile gamers. The crazy thing is all of them had good backing, unique elements, and great future if the studio behind the games had tried enough. But some of them also died because of bad timing. Because mobile gaming was still building up, and not everyone had knowledge. Not every genre was popular at that time. Other than battle royale shooter games, no one ever stepped to try out or support these games. If anyhow, they plan a comeback with more advanced, upgraded elements. I could assure they all are meant to succeed. Especially in 2026, mobile gaming is expanding with newer and unique playstyles. So this is all of it from my side. Let me know what's your story, how much games you tried or still remember the old memories, or you're hearing the name of this games for first time. Let me know everything in comments, because that's what matters the most. And I'll be down there reading your comments. So this is Legacy. See you next time.